Dobar dan svima, benvenuti a tutti quanti. Today is going to be awesome. Today is a live streaming on Power Automate Desktop. We are going to be answering your questions while building a process that is going to post multiple Facebook groups at the same time. So use the chat, feel free to ask whatever question you would like. Let me know if there is any issues with the audio or with the stream, and I will kick things immediately. By the way, hi everybody that is commenting in the chat. Thank you so much for your comments. You guys are awesome. I see that there is quite a few people from all over the world watching this stream right now. So thank you again for tuning in, and let's start. Alright. So the first thing that we're going to do, we are going to be automating. Let's see what we're going to be automating. We want to join different groups on Facebook. So let's say we search for AI. And well, I am already a member of many of these groups, but we want to join multiple groups at the same time. So we would like to join these groups and post inside of these groups. So in this video, I will show how to post a message inside of all of the groups that I am a member of. Alright, let's start. What I need is an Excel sheet. Let's see if I can find it here. I need an Excel sheet with a group, with a list of groups that I want to join. Now, I can do it in many different ways. Oh, sorry guys about the echo. Let me try fixing it. Maybe this is a little bit better. I'm not quite sure. I hope that the sound is a little bit better now. So, what we need, back to the video, what we need a list of groups that we are going to visit and that we're going to post a message on. Now, in the other cell, we are going to be putting the message that we want to post. Now, this isn't how I did the previous process. Now, this process, I might do it a little bit differently. But anyways, what I need is an Excel list of different groups that I want to visit. Sorry guys about the echo. Right. Let's try fixing this echo. So maybe we can do something like this. Let's see if this is maybe a little bit better. If this maybe has a little bit less echo. You guys let me know. Okay. Let me know if this is a little bit better. So now it should be maybe hopefully a little bit better. All right. Okay, excellent. Let's go back into the video. So we are going to be posting a message to all of this, and I said that I might build this process a little bit differently. Awesome. Thank you guys. All right, let's continue. We are going to be starting from a scratch document, from a blank canvas. So let's call this Facebook post. Facebook post part 2. And let's wait for this to load. And by the way, guys, congratulations on you learning Power Automate Desktop. This is a great technology. It is really giving you a heads up in the marketplace for jobs and also in whatever you are doing. These skills are going to be on a big rise very soon. Anyways, so what we want to do is we want to open an Excel sheet and we want to get this inside of Power Automate. Now that is the first thing that we want to do. So let's just start. Let's look for Excel. And here it is. Let's launch a new Excel. We are going to open a document. We're going to look for the file that I have right here. So this is called Facebook groups. Let's look for it. So it should be somewhere around here, I think. There we go. So now that we have read it, that is a very good question. So right now I am putting everything inside of one flow. However, it is much better to create multiple flows and then have one flow that is orchestrating everything. In addition to this, for this flow, since it is continuous, we are not doing like we're not downloading 100 images and then uploading. It doesn't have different steps. It just has one step. Therefore, I'm not going to be building different parts of it. If I had an authentication part, I would build an authentication part maybe separate from this process, like an authentication or a logout part at the end of each process run once it finishes. Let me know if that answered your question. So after that, we are going to get the content of this. So we are going to get it what is the quickest. We are going to get a value from a selection or a range of cells. So we're going to start at column 1, we're going to start at row 1. Let's check out our Excel sheet. Yeah, I'm sorry for the echo help. That's that today. Sorry for the echo once again. All right, so we are going all the way down to line 43. Here we go. So with this, what we're going to do, we're going to get all of our data inside of Power Automate. So we're going to have all of the, yeah, you can do it with Google Sheets. Same kind of thing. You would do it with Google Sheets, but if you want to do it with Google Sheets, I suggest using Power Automate Flow. So there is, let's check it out. All right, while this is loading, well, it's here, it's loading. So let's just create really quickly a flow. So if you are using, if you want to use Google Sheets, you should use a Power Automate flow because it has already a connection. So all you have to do is look for Sheets, Google Sheets, and you will get the rows. Let's see, get rows. You would use this. You would get the rows. You would select the file and select the worksheet. After that, you would connect to your process on Power Automate Desktop, and you can pass the data from Power Automate Flow onto your Power Automate Desktop. Back to our process. So we're reading this, and now let's close our Excel sheet so that we don't have anything else in memory. Let's just test this out, see if it's working. All right, we got 43 rows, 43 links. All right, now comes the fun part. Let's get one of these links. Let's get like this link right here. Let's see if I can copy it. All right, now comes the fun part. So Power Automate is, oh, what is going on? So LinkedIn, Facebook, all these pages, they have to deal with robots all the time. So they build their web pages so that robots cannot, or they have a hard time What is going on here? So robots have a hard time automating their page. So that's why we have to be a little bit we have to be a little bit smart and think outside of the box, and we will be able to automate. So let's go to a Facebook page that we want to automate. So let's go to Facebook groups. What do you mean VPN? All right, let's select one of these groups, for example. Well, let's use one of my sample groups. Let's take this group, and let's go back to Power Automate. Now, very quickly, let's launch Chrome. Let's start with this URL, and always maximize this. Just save yourself a couple of seconds. Everything will be much clearer. So, all right, let's run this one more time. Also, another good tip is keep running your process quite often, just so you make sure that every time you open the browser, the page hasn't changed and it's always the same, and that everything is still working. All right, so what we need to do is we need to click in here. Let's record it. So we need to click in here, and then we cannot insert the text directly here because it's a div, it's not an input field. So I will just click here. I don't need to click anymore, and I will type in something, and then I will click. So this is not a button also, so I will click on this post and hope for the best. Let's see what happens. So test, all right, it has worked. Let's finish this, pause it, and let's finish it, and let's see our flow. All right, we have a few things that we have to get rid of after every recording. So the navigate, we will use it actually later on. So now let's run our process once again and see if it's working. So it shouldn't post anything actually. It should just open, and it's doing it on the other page. That is great. So what is missing from our process here is a way that we can send the text to the Facebook group. So we can do that in different ways, but since Facebook is not allowing us to spam an input field, we cannot insert the text via web automation. So we have to send keys to the browser. So what is also important when we are sending keys to the browser is that the part where we want to send the keys is active and is blinking, and that the browser is in front of the mouse, because we're sending keys. All right, so let's add this. This is a test. We are gonna send text as hardware keys. This is going to simulate like a person is typing in, like if there is an up and down from the keyboard and mouse, and this will fool the JavaScript and will make the process be more stable. So we should also increase a little bit the delay between the keystrokes. Another thing that you should consider doing is increasing this to, let's put it 200 for now, and let's also add a weight. Now, since we're working with Facebook, Facebook is a web application. They have checks and controls that make sure that you're not posting too often, that you're not clicking like a machine, and so on and so on. Therefore, if you just click randomly without weights and without making any considerations about what you're doing, and if just being a robot, your account will get banned. So, but anyways, let's add a little weight here of 5 seconds, and let's add one more here of 5 seconds. Actually, we can make this one 2 seconds, and we can make this one 3 seconds since we're not adding any images. So let's see if this is going to work. let's start. Let's start Facebook. It should click in the post. Let's see if it's going to insert the text. It has inserted the text a little bit too fast for my taste, and this is a test. All right, so we have managed to insert it inside of this group. But now comes the question, how do we insert this in all of the groups that we want? And also, here's a little tip for everybody watching. Thank you so much for watching. What happens when our process fails, or what happens if it just breaks? It works on 2 or 3 groups and then it just stops working after a while. Well, it's most probably the selectors. The selectors are being garbage or being annoying. You did select the right selector, but just because that web page is slightly different, since we were using the web recorder to spy the elements, the position of the link probably has changed. Therefore, what you can do is either respy the same element, and in the same element just add the new one that you have respied. So it will work on the first one and on the second one that you have spied. All right, enough of that. You can also, instead of using the web recorder, which creates a hierarchical structure or path to your elements, you can also use directly the UI, add UI elements. And this is going to create a CSS selectors that is just much longer to work with, but it can be more stable. So take those things into consideration. I am also going to put this back to what it was, 10. And what else? We need to create a loop and post this onto multiple pages. So because I don't want to post this onto the same page, I will do something pretty interesting. So I will create a new sheet. I will take this message. I will put it here. And I will use this test group. Alright, so we're going to do it on the same group, but many different times. Let's save this. Excellent. And the next thing that we have to do, can record. Can the web recorder turn on a Chrome extension to assist in the process? The web recorder cannot turn on an extension, but how you can turn on an extension is by using the UI recorder. So you would use the desktop recorder or the UI element recorder, and you would, let's try it out. So it's working a little bit buggy. Let's try the desktop recorder. So we have that. Well, obviously you could use the image recorder and click here and open the extensions. But with the desktop recorder, I believe that we can click. It will take a little bit of figuring out how to get to this tab right there. I do not want to bore you guys right now because that will take me some discovering to do, but it's just all about playing around and finding out what kind of thing works best. There is no one way that works best. There is always multiple ways of finding of building the same process. So since my lunch or kind of my snacks are waiting for me, let's finish this process. So let's add a for each. So where are we going to add the for each? We're going to open the browser, we are going to start clicking on the different things, and there we're going to add the for each. We're going to loop on the Excel data that we extract. And how simple is all of this? We have already completed the entire process. So just a little bit more of fine tuning. We are going to launch a new Chrome, and then we are going to let's see, what are we going to do then? We are going to navigate to a new page. So let's do that. Let's navigate to a new page. And what is the page going to be? It's going to be the page that we have inside of our Excel. So that is going to be the current item that is created. So what is the current item? So when we create a for each says, all right, all the data in your Excel or the data we have extracted in an Excel sheet, I'm going to go through each single line of those. And each line is going to be called current item so that you can work with each line. So here, theoretically, we should visit the first link, the second link, the third link, and so on. So click link on web page, and let's add one more weight here. And the process theoretically should be complete. Let's see what happens. All right, it is running, it's going. This is the first page. It is writing something, theoretically it should write something. So this is a test, this is a test. It's posting it, it's waiting. What is going on? Aha. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, so it didn't finish. So let's do something else. Let's fix our process right here. We are actually going to do something else. We're going to remove this step. We're going to add this step right here. And what is this? This is post. So we need to add a little bit more time to the posting. So we should give it like 5 seconds. Well, that's a good question. So all of these elements, they're all waiting for the page to load. So you see, when I click on wait page to load, all of these are already waiting for the page to load. But right when the page finishes loading, I like to give it another 1 or 2 seconds just to make it more stable. I've noticed that that makes it more stable in certain cases, and in the long run, when you're repeating the same thing dozens and dozens of times, it matters. Stability and not breaking the process kind of really matters. Maybe 1, 2 times you don't need to add maybe the weight, but in the long run, it really does really make that much difference. You're not really watching it go, but yeah, it makes the process more stable. You can also use better weights, like you can use weights that are like wait for a file or wait for an element to appear on the web page, which are just different and used different in different situations. But in certain places like here on LinkedIn, since we're doing stuff that like the page appears and it's not appearing in the same instant, it's appearing after a fraction of a millisecond or something like that. Well, the robot is not waiting for any of that, so we can create conflict. There's also JavaScript that is triggered and so on. So let's try this and launch new Chrome. Well, I could have done it the other way as well, but all right, we're going to do it this way now. So we're going to close the browser. Actually, no, this is going to take too long. So let's navigate again. So let's put this back here. Let's add the current item. 6 seconds. Okay, so this should be good. Let's test it out and see if it works. All right, RPA champions. I am pretty positive actually that this time this is going to work. So let's watch this robot one more time. And by the way, thank you all for tuning in today. It has been great getting to know you guys and for your questions and sharing this process with you guys. I am very sorry about the what is this? Okay. So we had another issue. Let's try to fix another issue. What is the issue? Is it with our Excel file? So let's see. So this should okay. So we did do a mistake. So let's fix this mistake. And there we go. Now everything should be working. Let's try this one more time. And by the way, guys, I want to know how you are using Power Automate. Write me in the comments or in the chat or wherever you want. Send me an email, ping me on LinkedIn. I want to know how you are using Power Automate, what kind of processes you would like to see in the future, what kind of automations are you afraid of being replaced by a robot, or a lot of automations taking jobs and causing unemployment. I'm just interested to know your point of view about automation, about these technologies, about the future of work with automations. So write to me, get in touch, and so on. So is this working or is this not working? So it seems like it's making a post. Let's see. All right, it made a post. Now it should navigate again back to the group. All right, it has navigated back to the group. Now it should write another post. All right, great. It is writing another post. Oh, well, that is a really cool use case in e-commerce. Many processes that are on a repetitive basis, or on orders, or contacting clients, sending them information, they can be automated. By the way, in my next video, I'm going to be showing how from an Excel sheet we can send a serious list of emails. We can contact like a bunch of people from an Excel sheet, and that is an example where we have different clients with different delivery dates and different orders inside of the Excel sheet, and we need to send them all the same email. Instead of using MailChimp or something else, we're going to be using Power Automate Desktop. So apparently this is working. So we have automated something that is pretty repetitive and monotonous and boring, but there is really no limit to what can be automated. There is some crazy robots that I have on my virtual machines in the cloud that are doing things all day long, and nobody suspects the thing. They're just working, posting, doing different things, and growing different accounts and channels. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. It has been no worries, buddy. Guys, thank you everybody for watching. It has been a pleasure having you at my stream. Truly a great pleasure. All of you RP champions, I send you a big hug from Italy, and I will see you in the next live stream.